What is going on, faithful? Welcome to another episode of the 49ers Rush podcast. I am your host, as always, John Chapman, and with me, who I have referred to as the George Kittle of the 49ers world. I think he likes to go by the Dre Greenlaw. This guy is energy. He is fun. He is passionate, and I like his takes. Most of the time, I'm hoping we agree or disagree on some stuff, argue a little bit. CG Ruthless. And if you don't follow this guy, you got to. His YouTube channel, he's a freaking grinder hustler. His guest list is unreal. This guy is awesome. CG, how you doing, brother? How's life going?
Doing great, man. It's an honor to go on John Chapman's channel, one of my top favorites of those Niners YouTubers, if not the best, bro. Like, you put on the best breakdown film. I'm just honored to be on your show.
Man, thank you. And real quick, man, talk to us about some of the people you've had on. I know you got somebody coming up this weekend as well. Draft content, 49ers, former 49ers, current 49ers. Where could they find you, and what do you got going on, man?
Yeah, you can find me on CG Ruthless Sports. It's on you'll if you just search CG Ruthless, it'll pop up. My first NFL guest, like, I got Mike Rump on my show. Like, that was the first actual NFL player. You can say Eric Crocker was included too in some ways, but he was a practice squad. But yeah, he's a good dude. So he was. I guess you could say he was my first guest.
Nice,
and then Mike Rump, Keith Lewis, Derek Smith. I had Jamie Winborn, Julian Peterson, and then my recent guest was the draft prospect from the University of Texas San Antonio, Spencer Burford. And you can
okay, 49ers fans, real quick, and I want CJ to talk about this. We didn't plan on this. This is a 49ers draft target, 100%, perfect scheme fit. Offensive line, we didn't address in free agency yet. So, can you just give us a real quick breakdown of what Spencer brings? He's a road runner, UTSA, baby. That's my neck of the woods. Talk to us about kind of who he is as a person and what he brings and why he could be a 49ers fit.
Oh, because of the versatility. Like, he would be a little more of an upgrade over Brunskill, because he can play the guard position, because he was playing there, but he can play tackle. So if you ask him to play tackle, which he's been comfortable playing since he was a four-star recruit out of high school, he can play that spot, but guard is where they're kind of making him play at. But if he were to be asked to play center, he is open to do that. That's what he told me on one of those questions I gave him.
Dude, I'll tell you this. He's one of those, again, we're talking about Spencer Burford, UTSA draft prospect. Dude could play all five spots on the line, which is what Kyle Shanahan loves. And that's somebody that's going to probably be late day 2, early day 3. So you're talking that late third, 4th, 5th round, which, man, that's exactly where the 49ers like to go get their guys. Now, real quick, I'm seeing a lot of people throwing up the hashtag CC, the hashtag countdown crew. I love it. First 90 seconds every show. We're giving away more stuff today. We're giving away not one. We're giving away 2 shirts because John Chapman made a mistake and I tried to make the winner the same person 2 times. And so this is who the 49ers faithful are. And the people that follow this podcast, they're generous. They're not greedy. So we got 2 people, hashtag CC, get them in. We'll be giving away 2 49ers Rush podcast t-shirts today, so get those in. I'm seeing them all flying in there. I'm seeing my good friend Nicholas Parra from Jersey. What's up, man? Love you guys. Get it in there. So here we go. Let's jump into this. 49ers free agency has set people off. Positive, negative. Jimmy's still here. We made some good signings, some bad signings. So let's go positive first, CG. Who is your favorite 49ers addition? And I want you to talk about just a little bit outside of, I'm going to take away the easy answer. Charvarius Ward can't be your answer, right? Obviously, he's going to be starting corner. So outside of that, Hassan Ridgeway, Ray McCloud, who just got inked, George Odom just got inked, Oren Burks, all those guys. Who is somebody out of those 4 that kind of stands out as, man, this is a positive signing and can help the 49ers?
Well, I wasn't going to even throw that dude Ward's name because I thought it was one of the most questionable signings. I was one of the very few who ranted about him and wasn't sure about him. But if I had to choose, the one that stood out to me was Hassan Ridgeway. Like, the guy he can do good in the rotation, a good interior line. Like, even though he replaces what Kentavious Street does. You know, like Kentavious Street was supposed to play up to that level, but technically, you're like when I saw your breakdown film of what Hassan Ridgeway is going to do, like I don't think he's going to replace the production of DJ Jones by any means, but when you put him in the rotation, he's going to eat up that running game and disrupt. And I think that was one of the most underrated signing in my opinion.
I like it. Again, whatever 95 Street would go into the game, I would just start doing this like, oh no, they're going to run it right into the B gap. And every single time they did, he got blown off the ball. Again, and you have to understand and provide context to these signings. When the 49ers add a backup defensive tackle, and look at the money, it's backup defensive tackle money. I don't even think he got $2 million per year. He's a role player. That's what he is. He's not coming in to change the franchise. He's not going to compete for a starting spot. But what is it that he can do in that role in those 20 snaps? Hassan Ridgeway can play stout run defense. That's his job. Do something, do it well. You're a role guy. You're not a star, and you're not bringing him in. You're not paying him like a star. And so I've seen people out there talk about how he's a DJ Jones replacement. Look at the money. DJ Jones goes for $10 million a year. This guy's not even $2 million a year. Don't expect them to be the same. I'm with you. Now, hold on. I want to backtrack a little bit. I'm a pretty big Ward guy. Charvarius Ward, we bring in from the Chiefs. He's going to be a starting corner. You weren't a big fan of the signing. Talk us through it, CJ.
Well, it's just because he doesn't get the interceptions. Like, you look at the aggressiveness. Like, he's kind of gotten away with so many PIs. And I'm like thinking, man, I don't know. Like, is he really worth $14 million to be our starter? Like, don't get me wrong. It's an upgrade. But was I one of those big wow fans about this signing? No. And, like, I just thought maybe this is a dollar store Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, dollar store. He is younger. He's 6 years younger than Gilmore. I will say that. But, yeah, I don't think that he is Stephon Gilmore. I don't think that's his role. He's a tough corner. And he's big. He's a great tackler. But, yeah, he's not the big play machine and all those things. I agree with you there. So a couple things. I'm excited about him. Now, here we go. Mike C., he's got a question for you. How will Trey starting affect the locker room? Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about Jimmy G, but I just want to jump to this right now because I think this is a good question and something that hasn't been addressed very often. What is it going to be like for Trey to step in, and how's that going to affect the locker room?
Well, he's a new guy that just came from last season, so he's going to have to get the teammates more used to him. They're starting to like him very slowly, like with the plays he makes. Like, once he gets a full season as a starter under his belt for a good reason, the teammates are going to fall behind him. They're going to be right behind him. They're going to have his back. But the way I like what Trey Lance brings to the table that Jimmy cannot bring to the table is the way he can extend the plays. He can throw in the deep passes. Look how Debo got that ball and score against the Houston Texans. Yeah. Like,
that play just on repeat in my head, man. Just keeps going.
And he can scramble. Just needs to learn how to slide.
Yeah, that's a big one. Learning how to slide, we haven't seen yet. Don't want him taking that punishment. And here's one of the things that stands out to me with Trey in the locker room. Dude's the hardest working guy there is. He's working out with Brandon Ayuk today. They posted video. They're working out, I think, in Los Angeles right now. So the dude is the hardest working. If you remember back when it was OTAs, I believe, or mini camp, he logged the most hours in the playbook on the iPad. They track it. Dude's a worker. So I don't think it's going to be an issue. The kid's got it. Whatever it is, he's got it. I'm excited for what he's going to bring. Philip, oh man, good friend Philip from Patreon. What's up, brother? Appreciate the gift, the super chat. He says, could Ray be our next wide back? He's talking about Ray McCloud. This is one of those things that a big reason why you kind of targeted him. 5 teams besides the 49ers, so 6 total, were going after Ray McCloud. The 49ers got him, punt return specialist. Could you see him, CG, doing some of that wide back stuff when Debo takes a break?
Maybe in some certain package plays. Maybe you see him in those reverse jet sweep plays. I've seen some of it when he was with the Steelers. The thing that stands out about Ray McCloud is he can definitely return the game and change it to different field position. But the only concern about him is he doesn't have that breakaway speed to get that touchdown. Like, he's just a very little close at times. But what I think about him as a wide back, I think he might bring something different. He might bring a different element. Like, he'll be hard to tackle just like Debo, but just a little lighter. He definitely does have that ability to be used in that certain role.
Yeah, you saw it with the Steelers, which is funny. Whenever I was breaking down the Steelers tape and how they used them, the whole time I kept saying in my head, this is like the great value version of the 49ers offense. Like it just didn't work. Like it just was never in sync. And it was just like, oh man, this is just like watered down Kool-Aid. You need more, you need more juice. It's just not what's happening. So I do think that he could bring some of those things over. I wouldn't be surprised if, if I had to put the over under on Ray McCloud offensive runs, I'd probably say 12 on the season, right? So it's something that's like he gets one every other game. If, Debo's out for an extended period of time or misses a game, maybe he gets one or two that game. But it's extra because when you brought Travis Benjamin in to spell Debo, it was a waste. It shouldn't have been in the NFL last year. That was just bad. Anyway, hashtag Travis Benjamin. Please DM me again. I would appreciate your kind words. Anyway, that's not happening. Now, Nicholas says this. Unfortunately, everyone overpays for free agents this year more than most. Every single projection for salary cap and contracts blown through the roof, man. I thought there was I guess DJ Jones, 7 to 8 million. He gets 10 plus. I guess Laken Tomlinson, 8-10 tops. He gets 13.5. Like every single contract, just boom. NFL's blowing up. And so I think Nick's talking here about overpaying for free agents in the corner. Yeah, I think he got more money than everybody expected, but so did everybody else. And so, yeah, I think that's a good point there. Good stuff there. Here we go. Next question. Let's go to your Jimmy G crystal ball, CG. And people are upset. They want him gone. Some people are fine with keeping him. But again, that kind of very loud minority, they're ready to move on. In your opinion, if you had to guess or predict when Jimmy will be traded, released, will he be kept? What do you think? Put your finger on this situation for us.
Well, I don't know. Like, as far as the front office, the way they're doing business, like it hasn't worked out well with the trade situation because a lot of teams have gotten other quarterbacks, like the domino effects. Like ever since he got that surgery, it just crashed down the roof. But as far as like expecting him for this season, man, I don't know. Like hypothetically, I'm thinking the front office just doesn't want to move on from Jimmy, and the only way he may be cut is in June 1st. That would probably be the latest likely that he'll be gone. Maybe draft day, who knows? Another team might be interested of him, knowing that they definitely need a quarterback or injuries,
Right. It's weird, man. This is a weird contract because you can cut him anytime between now and the end of training camp after preseason, the initial 53, and you save the same amount of money. So that's one reason why I think they'll be slow to release. I love Jimmy. I'm very thankful for what he did for this franchise, but I do believe it's time to move on for him and us. Like Jimmy wants to play, right? I think that's everybody's thing. I think, he's not a top tier QB in this league, but he's a starter. There's no doubt about that. I don't think anybody really disagrees with that. It's just that contract, the shoulder surgery, which you brought up. So we'll have to see there. Nick, he says, those T-shirts are easier to give away than Jimmy. You're not lying. You're not lying. Oh, look at that. Where do you sell merch? Can they like buy that? Is that a thing available or you just do it on your own, like for your own stuff? Because that's awesome.
I'm working on it, man. Like I'm trying to get some more merch out of it, but yeah, that's something I'm working on. But trying it on as an example, I always go in public and see what people think of it, and some of them are like saying, "Oh, that's a nice logo. Where can I get it?"
A couple questions about your glasses. Those are fire, man. Now, those belong to somebody, right?
Yeah.
Who is it? Like that's like a designer one or something, right?
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, there it is. I knew I saw it before. All right. So speaking of giving away free T-shirts, hashtag Countdown Crew. Our first winner, we're doing 2 winners today. The first winner is Mike C. So congratulations, Mike C. Just reach out to me, email me, 49ersrushpodcast@gmail.com. I'll get that T-shirt, put it in the mail for you and all that stuff. So reach out to me, Mike C. Congratulations. We're about to do another one here in about 5 to 10 minutes, but I'm going to ask a question for you guys here in a little bit. So not just this second. Now, let's talk about K'Wan Williams. Breaking news, just signed with Denver right before we hit record, a 2-year, $7 million deal. So he's getting paid more. I think we paid him like 2.5 last year. So he got a little bit of a pay raise. I put a poll out there just yesterday. Should the 49ers re-sign him? 30% said no, 70% said yes. But I think the 49ers were ready to move on. So my question, CG, who starts in the slot currently with the roster that we still have? There's some options there. Who would you start? The Diamador Lenore? Do you move Mosley in there? What do you say?
Well, if we're going by perfect lineups, by best lineup by far, I think you would want to put Mosley in the slot. But maybe I might just be biased because Lenore's sister is a big fan of my channel. I would say give him a chance.
He looks so good. He looked so good, man, in preseason, training camp, all those things. Then I think it was week 1 or week 2, he got burned, and it was just like we never saw him again. One, I love the 38 on the jersey for corners. He looks great. And so I would love, man, I would just absolutely love that dude to get some more snaps. Now, I think the best 3, keep Ambry Thomas and Ward outside, move Emmanuel Mosley inside. But I would not be upset if they start Lenore inside, then allow Ambry Thomas to sit and learn and be that backup. Man, having that outside corner depth, I can't think of the last time we've done that. So yeah, we'll have to see what that looks like. See what that is. Now, here we go. The NFC, they've lost a lot of talent, whether you're talking Russell Wilson, Devontae Adams, Chandler Jones. I mean, you can go on and on and on. AFC is loaded up. So if we step back and look at just the 49ers in general, CG, have the 49ers gotten better than the NFC West, stayed the same as the other NFC West teams, or gotten worse through free agency?
Well, to be realistic, I just think we haven't really improved much. I think we're just same level. We haven't really improved much in free agency or signed the quality players we need. Don't get me wrong, special teams is probably the most important part that kind of hurt us during those seasons, but we definitely fixed that part. Cornerback, great, but we still have a few pieces that we're missing out on. Edge rushers, we need some depth there.
And yeah, I'm with you there 100%. And I'll say this is where the 49ers are about to turn on the signings, because we are bargain big shoppers in free agency. You have to be when you have this many high-end paid guys, right? George Kittle, top tight end paid. Fred Warner, top linebacker paid. You've got left tackle, Trent Williams, top paid there. Fullback, top paid there. All over the place. You've got all these guys. And so whenever you're a team that has all those top-end contracts, you've got to be smart with your money. And so, if you look at the Rams, their philosophy is, I want elite talent as much as I can, then just a bunch of guys, don't care. That's not the way the 49ers build. The 49ers say we want elite guys, then we want quality depth. We don't want elite, then just whoever. That's just not the way they've built. So look now for them to start getting value signings. Guys that want to win and compete for a cup and are willing to take, a 1 to 2 year relatively cheap value deal, not overpaying. That's what's going to start signing. So I fully expect in the next 2 to 3 days to get 2 or 3 more signings. I don't know what. So you said edge rusher. I think that's huge. I want offensive line so freaking bad. Am I crazy? Are you happy with the 49ers O-line?
No, I agree with you 100%. I was even mentioning about it. Are you really sure about Aaron Banks being our starter? Brunskill, I don't know. He's a good 6-man guy, if anything else. If you need him for that extra lineman, he's definitely good. But Jalen Moore, I like to see a little bit more of him, but I'm not really convinced that he could be the guy. So how about we kick the tires and get Will Hernandez, make this guy into a baller?
I like Will Hernandez. He was one of my favorite players. UTEP minor, if my memory serves correctly. He's just a big old mauler. Some of the funnest draft film I ever watched was that kid. He was just mean as hell. Now, real quick, we're going to play an ad here real quick just about our draft party. Put that information out there. But we're going to be giving away another shirt right afterwards. The shirt's going to go to somebody that comes up with the best question for CG. It could be 49ers related. It could be personally related. Go off the charts. We're untethered here. But get that out there. So get your questions in. We'll be right back. And again, giving away another t-shirt here in just a few minutes. You want to take part in the greatest 49ers draft party that's ever been assembled? Well, head to 49ersrushroadtrip.com and listen to the words of the All-Pro LB1, Fred Warner, who says he's going to be hanging out with us at the Mandalay Bay at the S-Bar for days 1 of the NFL draft. Now, we have tickets available for day 1 and day 2, and we're almost sold out. So, we've got a lot of tickets available still. The meet and greet tickets, they sold out. I told you guys to get them. Hopefully, you got them. If not, we still have some general admission tickets where you might have the possibility to meet them if we have some extra time. But that is available. Head to 49ersrushroadtrip.com and go get your tickets. It's going to be incredible. Day 1, drinks, food, everything included with Elijah Mitchell and Fred Warner. And we also have day 2 where we rented out a local brewery. We're going to be hanging out there, having some drinks, talking through all the 49ers picks with a lot of content creators that are going to be there. So, quit wasting time. Don't let this sell out and you be left out. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Go get your tickets now. All right. Welcome back, CG. Got some questions coming in here. And this one, I'm going to start with James because James is a good dude. He says, what's the best chapstick for Chapman, CG? I got to tell a little story here. I was a little brawler whenever I was little. My nickname was Fat Chapman when I was in middle school, and I used to fight people all the time. And I remember I got in this fight with this one kid one time because he kept calling me Chapstick, which doesn't bother me at all now, but when you're in middle school, it's what it is. His last name was Ferris, and I remember I got mad because I was like, your last name is Ferris. How are you going to make fun of my last name? And then we fought hardcore. It was an awesome 7th grade fight. It was incredible. Anyway, that's one question there, but we ain't messing with that one. Here we go. Here's a good one. James Montgomery. Who's our starting strong safety for week 1 right now currently, CG?
Well, if for some miracle we end up re-signing Jaquaski Tart, I would say Jaquaski Tart. I think he's going to have to be a bargain unless we can settle for something better. But at the point, I think there's just no other better option than Jaquaski Tart.
Yeah, and whenever you look at the signing of George Odom, right, the stud who in his interview today, they asked him, come over from the Colts, stud special teams player, was an all-pro special teams player a year ago. The 49ers told him they're bringing him in for special teams, but to be an added depth piece at the safety spot, which tells us they think the starting safety's on the roster. I think they're going to allow Charvarius Ward, who's coming back from that Achilles.
Or Hufanga.
Talanoa Hufanga to compete for that starting spot. I think Hufanga is going to win it. I've been a Hufanga believer day 1. I think he's got some athleticism issues on the low end, but man, instincts and drive go a long ways. And so I think Hufanga is going to win that one and take it away. Here we go. CG, this is from Nick. Do you anticipate Lynch and Shanahan moving up in the draft? And do you have any players you think they target?
Well, if we're going to move up in the draft board, I'm guessing we're going to go best available. If we get somebody who's just available, I'm guessing maybe a Christian Watson. You get that chemistry. Look at Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and then Derek Carr and Adams. Doesn't that kind of ring a bell? Bring in the reunions? Kind of gives you an idea.
It's the NFL now. If you want your young quarterback to be a stud, why not pair him with a college teammate that he had a lot of success with? Tua and Waddle. You've got Hurts and Devontae Smith. There's so many different spots out there. I like it. And yes, I do think the 49ers will move up. Shanahan cannot help himself. No way in hell. He sits still 61, pick 61, and goes there. I just don't see it. Let's see here. Aaron James, I apologize. He says, John, how do you think we draft considering our free agent signing so far? I think offensive line, edge, then another cornerback. This is a deep draft. Do you see us hitting on any rookies like Mitchell last year? One, yes. The 49ers hit very late in the draft. And if you look at the draft where we're at, we have a lot of late picks. And I freaking love it. The fact that we have 3 6-rounders, which is where we got Elijah Mitchell, you just referenced, which again, real quick plug, Elijah Mitchell, come hang out with them in the draft in Vegas. Going to be awesome. I think you hit the positions. I want to go offensive line and edge. Those are the 2 positions I think we need the most, unless a stud wide receiver falls, and then I'd be cool with that. CG, in your opinion, what position should they target with their first couple picks?
Edge rushers, offensive line. That would be the ones that if we fix that spot, we're good. We can get other depth pieces. We can get other guys competing for starting jobs. But if we can get some offensive line depth and edge rushers that can be the opposite of Bosa, that would be great. And the rest, we can just get the best available, or talent-wise, we can get a tight end maybe later.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. And, man, if you look, like you said, opposite of Bosa, right? Last year we had Kerryon Hyder. He was bad before us. He was great with us. He had 1 sack last year for the Seattle Seahawks, and then they cut him. Arden Key, bad before us, great with us. I think we're going to let him walk and get paid, and he deserves that bag. But whoever plays opposite, I'm telling you right now, CG, you would have 6 sacks if you started opposite Bosa. Like, so if you get a stud in there, that's going to be huge. I'm with you there completely. Here we go. This is from Spy Nick. He says, CG, what are the odds we sign an undrafted free agent and becomes a starter? Elijah Mitchell, Matt Breida, not Dre Greenlaw, Aziz, right? There's lots of different guys. Emmanuel Mosley was undrafted. He became a starter for us. And so in your opinion, can we continue that trend? The roster has gotten more and more deep, a lot more top-end talent. It's harder now than it used to be.
Well, what's the odds of it become like, let's say he does become like a 7th-round pick, or maybe becoming the borderline undrafted. Like, I would say, hey, I just interviewed this guy like a week ago, so I would say Spencer Buford could be one of those guys.
Whoa, turn up the heat, man. I love it. Yeah, he corrected it, undrafted there. Kali, what's up, man? Always good to see you. CG, what's your most memorable moment as a 49er fan and most forgettable?
Well, I got to watch the catch too with T.O. That was probably one of my favorite moments. But the one that I want to forget is Super Bowl 47. Something I just don't want to remember. I don't even want to watch it. Forget Super Bowl 54. Also, I don't want to watch none of those.
The losses, man. That's I remember, because like we do the Patreon breakdown videos, after every single game, every snap. And so I was in the game in Miami, which was awesome. It was such a great experience. Came out wrong, but coming back and watching that damn tape again and breaking down, oh my gosh, man, ripped my freaking heart out. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. Philip, this is a question I got. What does CG stand for?
Stands for my government name, like CG. Oh. Like, it's kind of like a role, because I've been getting called that ever since school. Like, there's so many Chris's in this world, so I just tell them, hey, just call me CG for short if you want.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. Let's see here. Oh no, it's coming back at me. What the heck did you say about Ferris from Sean Ferris? I apologize, my good friend. Middle school John Chapman apologizes. That is awesome. Came back and got me. From Steven Fox. What's up, man? He says, do you feel like the Niners upgraded or dropped with what they lost? We kind of hit on this earlier, but we hit it in reference to the NFC West. So just take every other team out of it. Did they get better? Did they get worse?
I think we just stayed pretty even.
Pretty even? All right. I think that's right. I think that's kind of right. It's not what we want. We're definitely not Seattle, who lost everything. And yeah, I mean, even the Rams, I think they're down 6 starters. Yeah, they got Allen Robinson, but again, they want one premium player and they lost all those other ones. So it's rough. Here we go. If Kinlaw is not healthy, who do we put in his place?
I got a good one. Kevin Givens.
I love Kevin Givens. Problem is, he was injured. Him and Maurice Hurst struggled with injuries a little bit, but defensive tackle's not an issue. When Armstead moved inside, he was great. If Kinlaw comes back, we're fine there. But then your backups, Maurice Hurst, Kevin Givens, that's one of those guys will shine. And then, of course, now you've got Ridgeway, who can, again, be kind of that sub-Bravo team go in there. So we've got a steady rotation of 3 or 4 defensive tackles right now. Like, I don't feel bad at all about Armstead, Kinlaw, Givens. I don't feel bad about that at all. Maurice Hurst, if he comes back. Maurice Hurst was playing as well as anybody on the defensive line before he got hurt.
When he was got healthy. Yeah, when he was with the Raiders, he was like one of their best D-lines before they had Crosby. So I think even a healthy Maurice Hurst Jr. would make a difference. So maybe I might lean towards him more than Givens.
I like it. Oh, gift. I love it. He's coming after me with the gift. Thanks for the gift. This is awesome because it's the ultimate backhand. He gave an awesome donation, so thank you, my friend. But then he's going to make fun of me, which is like This is my love language. The backhanded compliment. He says, "Don't disrespect the great Ferris name, Chapliv. I love it. Is our plan go cheap, go young, use savings to go all in next year, add skill when needed?" So, CG, what would you say? Put yourself in John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan's seat right now. What are they doing? Provide us kind of structure to understand what's happening with the 49ers offseason right now.
Well, their plans is to retain their core players, but they're not going to overpay them financially. So they're going to mostly build through the draft, of course. But as far as the way they do business, they're not going to give you like a lot of money. Like, here you go. You can take this. No. They're going to say, hey, you need to prove it.
There it is. There, pay yours, right? Debo's getting paid. Nick Bosa's going to get paid probably next year. He's got an extra year on his deal because that 5th-year option with first-round picks. Pay yours, and then kind of cycle guys through on the value bin. Last question here from one of my favorite people on earth. Sin, what's up, girl? She says, what made you become a Niners fan, CG?
Well, it's a long story short, but if you guys want to know what got me into being a 49ers fan, I grew up around Cowboys fans. So my mom was a Cowboys fan. My dad was a Cowboys fan. So what really got me into the Niners in perspective was watching Steve Young. Steve Young was one of my influence, one of the guys I liked. My brother got me into it. My aunt was such a big time Niners fan. It was so great. And I got a chance to wear one of those gold jackets and all that stuff. And I got me like, what is it? Those Old Navy's Steve Young practice jerseys. And then I remember getting like an Adidas Jerry Rice jersey. It got me hooked ever since. It could have gone between the Cowboys and the Niners, maybe a little bit of Raiders. I don't know, but I was digging more the Niners.
Are you from Dallas?
Yeah, I was born there, but technically I just lived down in California my entire life.
Oh,
but
gotcha. I grew up in Dallas myself, man. That's my stomping grounds. Cowboys fans is with you, and I hated them.
Oak Cliff, bro. I was in Oak
what's
Cliff.
up, man? Yeah, I taught at Duncanville, coached at Duncanville, right up the road, man. So there we go. All right, our second shirt today. I don't have a choice on this one. I called out this dude's entire family. Sean Ferris, amazing sport, amazing listener, great questions as well. Congratulations, man. You get your shirt. So reach out to me, Sean Ferris. I got to right my wrongs, as they say. So congratulations, my friend. And if you didn't win a shirt today, guess what? This is episode 6, or sorry, just 5 of our giveaways. We got 5 more straight episodes of giveaways. So Sean, congratulations. CG, before we jump out of here, tell us again, how do we get your content? I want to support you. You do a great job. Where do I find you?
Find me under CG Ruthless Sports, or you can just click the link with CG Ruthless and it pops up.
There we go.
I'm on the road to 4K, so I'm pushing for it. I'm getting some quality guests, consistently. Oh, and by the way, I do the NFC West Network. I do content for the NFC West also. So if you're interested of what goes on in the NFC West, go check out the NFC West Network with guys like the AZ Sports Fan, Steve A. Smith, and Ram Showcase. Those are the guys I work with on a daily.
Dude, I love it, man. Really appreciate what you do. The grind is freaking awesome. I love people that put out content and build up the community, man. Very positive guy. I give CG my wholehearted endorsement in any way, shape, or possible. Go support him. You guys are the best audience ever. So follow him over there. See what we can do. That's going to do it for us today. Really appreciate you guys. And until next time, CG, appreciate you. As always, faithful. Stay strong, CG. You got anything to say before we bounce out of here?
Go Niners.
There we go. I like it. Love the energy, baby. All right. Take care, guys.